Hello, welcome to this shorter Hatha Yoga class. So we will not be flowing today. It's going to do a nice short practice, open up all of our parts, and hopefully have a more relaxing evening or day, depending on when you are practicing this video. So that being said, as far as props go, I've got two blocks. I've got one on each side for what we're going to do in the beginning, and then more towards the end, when you come into a deeper hip opener, I may bring both blocks together at the same end. So just know that you are able to do that. You can also completely do this class with one block as well. I just happen to have two. We will use a strap or a belt at the end as well to further open up the hip. And I've also got a folded blanket behind me. You can use this for Shavasana as a neck pillow. That's most likely how I will be using it. It can also be a good knee cushion for some knee down practices that we will get to later on. That being said, let's come to our practice. I'm just going to take my feet and legs just a little bit apart here. I'm just going to zip up and in that belly button. Just going to let the hands just be right here. So from here, just take a few breaths. You can close your eyes, you can keep your gaze open, but gaze cast down. Just really expand that rib cage on the inhale. And then as you exhale, really draw up and in, get a little bit of a tighter connection here. And inhale, expand. And exhale. Now I'm going to bring in the Ujjayi pranayama here. That's the back of the throat constriction. Some people also call it the ocean or the Darth Vader breath. So to get this breath, there's three ways you can do it. You can do it on just the inhale, which you're making an A8 sound as you inhale through the nose. So it's almost kind of like a snore, but not really a snore. So it sounds like this. Hopefully you can hear it. And then you would just exhale normal. Good. And then the exhale, which is what most people end up doing, is an 8A, a ha sound, forcing that air up and out the nose. So that one's, I almost said smells. That one sounds like this. And then full Ujjayi breath, you're doing the inhale and the exhale together. Good. So you should be able to hear yourself when we do this. We'll take a few rounds. I cannot talk and do Ujjayi at the same time. I'm just going to leave you in silence here for a moment as we breathe. Let's just take a big regular exhale to prepare. And here we go. I love this breath. It's nice and calming. It really helps take down the nervous system when we tend to be, kind of scatterbrained. Just taking a few breaths with that can be really helpful. So from here, good. We'll just take the chin down to the chest. We'll get into a few neck stretches here. Now I'm standing tall. I'm kind of thinking about my ears won't be, but my shoulders, my hips, knees, feet are in alignment. My knees are soft. Good. And I'll come back up. Let's take that all the way up. Go to your body, your next range of motion. And center, left ear, left shoulder. You can press away to intensify that if you would like. And coming back center, other side. You press away to intensify if you would like. And coming back. Just roll those shoulders out and forward. Good. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, just bend the knees. Good. Pressing into the heels. Get into the hips. If you focus on the hips and the heels, the knees will do what they should do. So just gonna come up. Good. Big inhale. Get a nice side bend to the left. Noticing how I'm not shifting my hips over to the left. That's something different. Just getting it all in the torso here. Good. Now I'm also pressing through my right side. I'm going to continue pressing through that right side as I come back up. And I'll go to the other side. Good. Now I'm pressing through the left side and try to keep a nice long arm here. That gives you a little bit more connection and stretch than just kind of being lazy here. So really reach. Also watch a forward collapse of the shoulder. Get you open that back up. Pressing through the left side and coming back up. Just get some gentle rotations here. Let the knees bend a little bit. Now, if you want something a little bit more challenging here, take your hands behind your head. Your hips are going to stay forward. They won't move. And I'll show you this from 2 different angles. So I've got my shoulders down, elbows are out. I'm keeping this 100% in the torso. Good. So I'll show you from this view. Good. Hips stay forward. I'm only moving from the torso. And this one takes practice. So if you don't master this today, no worries, just keep practicing. Good. And then from here, we'll take that down. Let's do some standing cat-cow. So I'm going to keep a nice long back here. Good. I'm just bending. I'm going to rest my hands right on my thighs. Good. So as I go into this cow pose, I'm going to take my chest forward, maybe pelvis tilts a little bit, maybe looking up where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then I'm going to tuck the tail around the spine, looking towards my thighs. There's your mad cat. So here's your flexion and going into extension. And exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. One more time. Exhale and inhale. And we'll press all the way through. Good. So if you're going to use a block today, maybe you can't touch the floor very well, have that in front of you. My feet are going to be about hip width apart. If you do not have any kind of back issues, your balance is good, you're not a newbie, you can zip everything together, but I'm going to practice hip width apart here. Good. So from here, big inhale and reach. Exhale, bend the knees as you come down. Come to where you can come. That may or may not be the floor. Inhale, pressing through those legs, lengthen, nice long back here. I'm going to bend the knees, pressing through the legs, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. I'll give you a little affirmation here. How about I am in charge of how I feel? I am in charge of how I feel. Let's do that one more time. We'll add on this time. Big inhale. Maybe looking up there at those hands, bending the knees, coming down. Good. Now, hands can stay here. They can also be here. I'm going to let the head and neck just be free. You can even shake the head yes, or shake the head no. I do want a bend in the knees here. That'll be easier on the back. And if you're able and or you want to, maybe grab opposite elbows here. It's coming into a little dangle. Might feel a little bit more traction down the spine. And then from here, if you have your elbows, we'll release. Good. I'm going to take my hands back to my block, pressing through my feet, getting a nice long spine. That feels good to get out of there. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Maybe using the block, maybe not. So I've got both hands on my blocks here. I'm going to step my right foot back. Good. And then I'm going to take that right knee down. Okay. And you can bring in your block here, so you can bring it in on the inside of the foot. Find your length. We've got a nice long torso here. And then notice a few things. So from here, you want the knee to be over or behind the ankle, and you want the heel to be grounded. So if your heel's lifting up here or your knee is really forward of the ankle, take that foot more forward, and it should feel a lot better to you as well. So my belly button is in. You can come to the Ujjayi. Good. Now from here, when you're ready, I'm going to back off slightly. So taking my block at any height that's needed, because remember you've got 3 heights in your block here, okay? Or hand can come to the floor. I'm going to stay on my block. I'm going to find my length now. Good. And I'm going to twist to the left. And try to hold these for about 4 to 5 breaths. If you cannot, do what you can and come out, or you're in control of how you feel. So if you don't feel good here, then come out, feel better. And we'll take that hand back down. Good. I'm going to bring my block forward, tucking the back toe, lifting the back knee, back foot's going to step up to meet the front. Good. You can have a little benzies here, maybe lengthening a little bit more. And when you're ready, we're going to bend the knees. Now we're going to step the left foot back. Okay. So you can use your block if you need to, or hands can come to the floor. Good. Left knee's going to come back. Good. You can bring that block in here, any height that you need. Hip in about, not hip, this is the knee. Knee and ankle are in alignment, or the knee can be behind. Heel is grounded. Take that foot more forward if need to be. Find the length in the torso. Belly button is up and in here. So this is opening up the hip flexors. I mean, particularly the psoas muscle. It tends to be really tight. Tight psoas muscle also not just means tight hip flexors, but it can also affect the low back and make it tight back there as well. And if you've got a tight low back, you also likely have tight hips. So from here, I'm going to back off just a little bit. Good. If you're going to use the block, have that block handy. If not, hand's going to come to the floor. So hand it to the floor to the block. Then I'm going to come back in. I'm finding length. We always want to twist from length and opening up to the right. Maybe looking up there at that hand, breathing. Now, try not to collapse to that supporting shoulder on the other side. So really press the floor away. And then once you're ready, good. We'll take that down. Good. I'm going to move my block forward. Good. Tucking my back toe, lifting my back knee. Back leg is going to come forward to meet the front. Lift and lengthen, getting out of there. Good. Let's bend the knees, pressing through the leg, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding your breath, reconnecting. And from here, good. Let's take this back up. Big inhale, exhale. Let's take that no fold down. Good. Again, using your block if you need to. I'm going to plant my hands on the floor, 1 foot at a time. I'm going to step back. We're going to come to a downward facing dog. A downward facing dog. So once I come back here, good, I'm just going to check in with my form. So my fingers are spread wide. I'm rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. I'm pressing in and forward into my hand, okay? I'm turning my elbows towards the ceiling. So I'm nice and wide through the upper back here. So you should feel that better engagement around the armpit, should feel more stable, okay? My hips, knees, and toes are in relative alignment, and I'm pressing evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. Your heels may or may not touch the floor. Don't worry about that. If it would feel good to you to just kind of walk the dog a little bit here, kind of working through the feet just a little bit, getting a deeper stretch down the back of one leg and then the other. And let's find the stillness. Head and neck are free. Find Ujjayi.
Good. And from here, we're going to take our knees down to the floor. We're going to find a child's pose. So our knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. You're welcome to take your arms long in front of you. That's an extended child's pose. Or if your shoulders don't want that, take your hands back by the ankle. Let the shoulders release here. Forehead can come to a block or to the floor. And breathe and expand. Let this one be a little bit more active. So keep that belly button in. Good. Now, I am going to cue us to come back to through downward facing dog to come back to standing. If that is not a good way for you to come back to standing, then I would like for you to come back to standing in the way that's best for your body. Okay. So from here, then I'm going to come up through my tabletop position. I'm going to take my hands a little bit forward. I'm going to tuck the toes. I'm pressing in and forward into my mat. Hips are behind me, and I'm going to lift hips and knees towards the ceiling. You can take a moment here if you would like. Hopefully the second one feels different to you, maybe a little bit better to you than the first one we did. And then from here, I'm going to inhale, look forward, bend the knees. You can walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Good. Inhale, exhale, pressing through the legs and the feet, coming all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. So what about saying to yourself, I am resilient? I am resilient. So I, like everyone else, I've not had a perfect life. I've had my share of ups and downs, but I didn't let the downs define me. I worked through it and came out better. So I am resilient. And then from here, good. Let's go into some standing postures. So I'm just going to kind of reset this block here a little bit to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to step back into a warrior two, a warrior two. So I'm going to start by stepping back with my right leg. So I'm just going to step it back. So I'm going to come in a little bit of a lunge here. Good. Now, this hip, knee, and toes are going to turn out 45 degrees-ish. Okay. Or kind of think about taking this toe kind of toward a corner here. Okay. This front knee can do a couple different things. If you have trouble, bending too far, knee falls in, that sort of thing, or maybe that's just too much pressure today for whatever reason, lengthen this leg. Okay. If it feels better for you to lengthen this leg, that's actually more important and pressing through the back edge of this foot than having a bent knee. So find where you need to be. Now, that being said, I can bend my knee today. That's where I'm going to go. I want the knee to be over or behind the ankle. I'm going to take my front hip back. My back hip will come forward. That will help this knee track towards the pinky toe and avoid it from falling in. Now, once I've done that, legs or hip are in place. I'm going to keep my hip stable and still as I open the chest to the side. So warrior two is a twist. And then maybe take my arms long. Okay. Looking out over that front fingertip. Zipping up that front body. And breathe. Maybe lifting the toes, pressing in the big toe, pinky toe, mountain heels. Maybe lowering the toes. And you can lengthen this leg at any time if you have it bent. You are not committed to being somewhere that is not good for you. Let's lengthen that leg. We'll come back. We'll come to exalted. So as I'm coming back to exalted again, I'm not shifting my hips. I'm just reaching straight up. Now, if you would like a little shoulder opener here, maybe you wrap this back arm a little bit. That's not for you, then you don't have to go there.
My shoulder doesn't like it every day, so always be patient with yourself. Different days, new experience. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come out of there. I'm going to leave this leg long. So I'm going to turn this foot in. Good. And we're going to turn my other foot in. We're going to take a fold here before we take what we just did to the other side. So I want my big toes in alignment with each other. I'm pressing through the outer edges of the feet. Not only does that make that more stable, but that keeps the knees from doing this number when we do things. So you press through the outer edges, you strengthen up these muscles. Hands to the waist, zipping up the front body. We're going to hinge and fold. And when you're ready, good. Now, you might be someone that needs to take hands down because you're afraid of falling forward. That is completely fine if you need to do that. You want to keep a long back here. Head and neck is free here unless you're someone whose head can touch the floor. So sometimes mine can, sometimes it cannot. Usually never the first fold. Finding breath. Remember, I am in charge of how I feel. I am resilient. So from here, when you're ready, your hands are still on your waist. You can leave them there. I'm going to instruct everybody to put a little bit of a bend in the knees. If you took your hands to the floor, you can walk your hands up your legs as you come back up. So nice and slow. We don't want any jerky movements. We don't want to get dizzy or anything like that. And when you're ready, we're going to take this right to the other side. So from here then, okay, I'm just going to turn over. I'm going to turn this foot out. Good. So my hip, knee, and toe are turning this way, this leg. Good. I'm going to come back. Good. Now, if that way was not a good way for you to come back, feet and legs together, and then step out into that high lunge like we did on the other side, and come into your warrior two. Different ways to get to the same place. Different bodies need different things. So from here, I'm at an angle here. Good. My front hip's going to come back. My back hip's going to come forward. I'm going to bend my knee over behind the ankle. Good. Hips will stay here. I'm going to turn the torso. Here's my warrior two. Breathe. Now, when you're ready, good, we'll lengthen this leg if it wasn't already. Good, we'll take that back and reaching up. Hips, try not to shift them. Good. And the back arm can wrap around if you did that on the other side. And I'm really reaching with this hand. Good. What about I inhale peace, I exhale worry. I inhale peace, I exhale worry. And when you're ready, good. We'll release the arm if you took the half wrap and we'll come back up. Good. From here, I'm going to take this foot in. Good. We're going to come to another fold here. Good. So get your feet in alignment and everything set up. Again, pressing through the outer edges. This time you can have your hands back at your waist, or you can take your arms straight up here. So find a version that feels good to you. And when you're ready, we'll take that and we'll fold. Good. Now you can stay here. You can take the arms forward. You can take them back. You can grab on the outside of the legs. You can take a yogi toe here. You can bend the elbows back, taking forearms down, which is what I'm going to do. Good. So back is nice and long. Knees can be slightly bent if they need to be. Head and neck are free unless you can comfortably touch the forehead or the crown of the head to the floor. Inhale peace, exhale worry.
Find your ujjayi. And then once you're ready, good, we'll come back up. Now from here, I'm going to put a little bend in the knees, and I'm going to walk my hands back up here. Good. From here, when you're ready, good. We're going to go into warrior two again on each side, and we'll do it just from the turnout, and we will add on triangle this time. We will not do a forward fold in between this next series. So now I've got my left hip, knee and toe are going to turn forward. Good. My back leg is going to turn inward. Okay. So you can have a heel to heel, heel to arch alignment. This leg can also come out wider if you need that for stability or low back comfort. Good. So front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. Maybe you bend the knee, maybe you don't. Watch your alignment over behind the ankle. Hips stay where they are, opening to the side, finding your warrior two. And breathing. So warrior two is a great pose. It's a strength builder. It's a hip opener. It's a twist. Let's lengthen that front leg. Good. So we'll take this into triangle. So I'm going to turn my hips more forward. So my front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. That means my torso is going to move with me. So same arm as leg. I'm going to take that arm forward. I'm rooting into my feet and legs like I'm trying to rip my mat apart from one end to the other. And then I'm going to lengthen. So this is not a forward fold. I'm keeping a nice long back. When you can come no more, you can come to a thigh. You can come to a shin. You can take a block. Outside of the foot is easier. It's less intense than the inside. So be mindful as to where you need to be. I'm going to stay outside today, and we'll open up. Good. Front hip will come back hip will come forward. Sometimes I like to shift and transition. Good. So consider a stacking of the shoulders. Good. When you're ready, looking down at that front foot, put a bend in that front knee and carefully come out of the triangle. So we're going to take that to the other side. Now I'm going to bring that foot in. Good. This foot, my right side, is going to turn out, hip, knee, and toe turn out. So I'm facing completely forward of my mat. I'm perpendicular here. Back leg is turning in. Good. Find the alignment that's appropriate for you. Heel to arch, or maybe this back leg needs to be wider. Good. From here, good. Front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. Good. I'm bending that knee tracks towards pinky toe. I'm going to keep my hip still as I rotate my torso. Reach, warrior two. Try to zip up and lift up here. Now I release worst case scenario thinking. I release worst case scenario thinking. Worst case scenario thinking does not serve us. And almost all people, the worst case scenario that we have going through our head never comes true. So we don't want to hold on to that and keep getting anxious about it. So I release worst case scenario thinking. Good. We'll lengthen that front leg. Good. So we'll set up for triangle. So as I take my front hip back hip forward, my torso is going to come with me. Good. I'm rooting into my feet like I'm trying to rip my mat apart. Same arm as leg is going to come forward. Good. And then from here, from the hips, I'm going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. When you can come no more, take a thigh, take a shin, a block. So I don't really need one today on this side. Remember, inside is more intense. Outside is a little bit easier. Good. And then we'll come open. Stacking the shoulders. Front hip is back hip is forward. Triangle is one of my favorites, probably my second favorite after warrior two. Also a wonderful strength builder. Also a balance challenge, a hip opener, and a twist. Good. And looking down at that front foot, we'll put a bend in that front knee and we will come back up. Good. I'm going to heel toe, heel toe, heel toe my feet in until it's safe to step them together. We're going to come to the top of the mat. We're going to make our way down to the floor. And because we're going to go into dragons today, I'm going to bring both of my blocks together. So I have them. So from here, when you're ready, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale in, we'll take a fold, bending those knees. Just be here for a moment, shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Good. Whenever you're ready, good. We're going to take the right leg back. We're going to come back into a low lunge. My right leg is going to come back. Good. I'm going to let that right knee come down, just like we did in the beginning. And then I'm going to show you what you can do with your blocks. Not everybody may need these, but they can be nice because we're going to be here for a little bit. So coming into dragons, you're going to take hands on your blocks at any height that's appropriate for you, or hands on the inside of the foot, okay? So find what you need there. Good. Then you're going to decide, do I want to stay here, or do I want to take this left leg out wider to the left? So I just took my left leg out wider to the left, okay? You can stay there, or you can turn hip, knee, and toe out in an external rotation. So they're all following each other. Hip, knee, and toe track in the same direction. It kind of looks like that. Good. Or turning out, and you can stay there. You can also take forearms to your blocks, okay, or forearms to the floor. Okay. Now I'm pretty open now, so I'm going to take forearms to the floor. But you just choose where you can go. And I don't want to do this. I want to press away. So use your blocks if you need the floor to come up higher to you. Okay. Breathing. Our bodies have a tendency to store a lot of emotions in the hips. And say, I release what's not serving me. I release what's not serving me. Just let it go. And once ready, good. In the way that's best for you. Good. If you went onto your forearms, you're going to come up to the hands first. And then if you took your leg out, good, you can bring that back in. So hip, knee, and toe are in alignment. Good. I'm going to use my blocks here. I'm just going to do a little counter stretch, just kind of coming back. So it's that half split pose, if you will. Good. So this leg is long, but I don't want that knee to be locked out. Nice long torso. When you're ready, good, I'm going to step forward. I'll take my block with me, tuck the back knee, step that front foot forward. Good. You can stay here in a little dangle, or maybe you want something a little bit longer. Find what feels good to you and go there. And then when you're ready, we're going to step the left foot back. Good. Coming into a right up runner. That knee's going to come down. Again, with or without your blocks, come on the inside. You can choose to stay here. You can take this leg out wider. You can turn it out, which is what I'm going to do here. You can come onto the floor with forearms or blocks. So this side I'm a little bit tighter. So I'm going to be on blocks on this side. So I'm pushing the floor away with my shoulders, and my belly button is in. Breathing, always returning to the breath. Once you're ready, good. You'll come up onto the hands first. Leg will come back in if you took it out. Good. And then with or without your blocks, we'll get that half split counter pose. Good. Find that nice long leg, nice stretch. Now I focus on what I can control. I focus on what I can control. And then from here, once you're ready, then I'm just going to bring that foot in and we will come to a seat. I'm just going to put the block to the side and yes, we'll come to seat. I'm actually going to sit on my blanket. I had a little brain fart there with where I was going to go. Good. So from here, let's just do a basic seated twist. So I'm just going to be here crisscross applesauce. There are different seated twists you can do, and if you got one of those in your practice and you want to take it, feel free to do so. Just to start, I've got my comfortable leg in front. So for me, the comfortable leg in front is my right leg. So remember that because we'll switch it up when we go to the other side. So from here, big inhale and reach. Exhale, I'm going to twist to my right. So twist in the direction of your comfortable leg. Rolling shoulders back. Now looking behind. Get that nice stretch through here one more time. And we'll lift, come back to center. Good, arms are going to come down. Now I'm going to put the awkward leg in front, which for me is my left. So from here, big inhale. Good, now I'm going to twist in the direction of the left because that's the leg that's in front. I'm going to rotate, taking that down, rolling shoulders back, looking behind me. And we expand that rib cage. And we'll lift up and come together. Good. Let's come onto our backs. We're going to come to a supported bridge here. So if you don't have a block, but you do have a folded blanket, you can always fold that blanket up. You can also use a sturdy pillow to go right under the low back. Okay, so I'm going to just take one block here. You can use this setting or this one. I don't like this one because then only the tailbone is really up there. And there's not enough support for the two sits bones. And then it just won't feel better later in your day. So pick this one or this one. Good. We're going to press into the feet, lift the hips. We'll slide that block right under the tailbone. Then you can just roll the shoulders back here for a moment and breathe. Now, if this bothers you, maybe you've got something sensitive going on down here, you can always come out of that. You don't have to use the prop and just be in a nice constructive rest pose, meaning your knees are going to be bent. Breathe and expand. Notice how you feel the longer you're here. You start to feel a little bit of reverse blood flow. You start to feel a little bit less tense. I felt a little bit more of a relaxation happen in my pelvic bowl here. You know, if this is your jam, I'd like to stay here longer. Feel free to do so. We'll just skip the rest of what we're doing. Otherwise, press into the feet, lift the hips, and we'll remove that block or whatever other prop that you used. Good. Now we're gonna bring in the strap here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a nice little neck pillow going for my head. And then we'll take the strap. We're gonna take it in the left foot first. Left foot first. Good. Your right knee can stay bent or can come long. You're gonna choose what you need there. Good. Now we've already gotten a lot of a hamstring stretch here, so we're just gonna kind of hold on to that. And we're gonna take that leg out to the side. As I take that leg to the side, which is gonna be the left side, I want the right hip to stay down. If your leg is long, really reach through that right side. You're in charge of how you feel. You're in charge of how you react to what you feel. Good. And then from here, we'll come up. Good. We're going to take this into a twist. So both pieces of the straps going to come into the right hand. Good. Now you are free to arc this over 45-ish degrees if that's the extent of the stretch that you need. Or if you want to take this into full twist, you can. Keeping the leg in line with the hip. Don't let it flop on the floor. Try to keep left shoulder grounded as you look over to the left. And coming back to center. Good. We're going to do that to the other side. I'm just going to do a little mid-air switcheroo here. Good. So the left knee can be bent or extended long. Both pieces of strap are in the right hand. Both hips will stay grounded. I take that right leg out to the right. Now my left leg is long, so I'm really reaching through that left side. And a different grip here. And when you're ready, we'll come up. Good. Switching up the hands. So here we go. You can take a 45-ish degree arc, or you can take that all the way over into a twist. I'm going to move out a little bit here so I'm not cheating, letting that leg rest on my wall or the mirror that's behind my tapestry, actually. Good. The right shoulder is down as you look to the right. And we'll come back up. When you're ready, you can remove that foot from the strap. Bring your knees into the chest. Give them a final big tug. And we'll take a nice short shavasana here. And we'll give you one more thing to ponder as we go into that shavasana. And that's, I free myself from fear of the unknown. I free myself from fear of the unknown. Legs can be long. You can be in constructive rest. Find where you can be for a few short moments.
Taking some deep breaths here. Remembering you can stay here in Shavasana as long as you like or leave. Or with deeper breath, maybe inviting movement of the fingers and the toes. Maybe a gentle move of the head and neck, side to side. Staying here, we're taking knees into the chest, giving them a nice little tug. Continuing with stillness, we're taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, getting a nice full body stretch here, lengthening from fingertips to toes. And then when ready, bending in both knees, rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for you for this moment, taking all the time that you need here. And when you're ready, we'll press ourselves up to a seat where we often start our yoga practice, but not this session. Noticing how you feel. Palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. As you bring those hands down, stopping the thumbs in front of the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving heart. And we know effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you have a wonderful day, evening, week, month, season ahead. Thank you so much. Namaste.